So this is my mixture of coco coir and peat moss and vermiculite. This is what I use to plant my seeds and start or transplant my seedlings. Every year I make me a batch of this, because I don't only use this for starting my seedlings. I also use this sometimes for repotting some vegetable that requires good loose soil, and this is what I use to amend heavier type of soil. So today what I'm going to do is transplant these tomato seedlings. It might be a little early. I probably could wait at least a few more days, but because it's starting to show a lot of roots coming out of the plugs, I decided that it would be best if I could go ahead and transfer this into its own container where it can continue to grow and root as much as it wants without being disturbed. So what I'm doing now is just filling some of this mixture, that much, and extend this so you can see what I'm doing. It's cold outside, and so I decided to work in my kitchen. I'm a little cramped up in here, but I feel warmer inside the kitchen than being out there. It's actually starting to rain as well. So because it's little seedlings, I know that you can plant tomato as deep as you can manage, up to like half an inch of this leaf here, about that far from it. That could be the soil level, but because this is a little seedling, I'm not gonna worry about that, because I will have to transplant it again, or maybe when I do the final planting, that's when I will bury it nice and deep. But for now, that would be sufficient right there. Okay, tap it a little bit, kind of pack it down a bit. Okay, now let me find one with 2 plant in it. Now in this case, they both look like a really good candidate for keeping, but I have more than enough, and so I'm just gonna get rid of the other one and loosen up the nettings around it, and I'm gonna add some more, put a little bit more, and position that in there, then fill it out, fill it with, okay, position that in the middle, and add more of the mixture all around. Give it a little tap at the bottom so that it could settle, and there you go. Okay, so I'll keep on doing this, and well, anyway, let me show you one thing that you could do if you like me right now. I really hate what I'm doing where I had to pinch one off and get rid of it. Or maybe in this case, this looks like you would have to pinch off two of them. But one thing you could do is save at least two of the seedlings. Let's do that as gentle and as we can. We could open up the plug very gently. There will be some try to do a very minimal damage to the root if you can. And I managed to save a lot of seedlings in this way. As you can see, there's not much root damage done there. We're gonna separate these two. Save that there. And this one here, I will have to go ahead, since you see how close it is to the other plant. I'm just going to pinch that one off, and instead of losing two, I only lost one seedling, and I managed to save and make two seedling transplant out of that one plug instead of just one. Okay, that will be fine where it's at. Okay, now I'll keep on doing the same thing and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the last seedling I have, and when I separated it from the other tomato plant that was in the same container, I have pulled out a lot of roots. But because I'm always fascinated about the resiliency of the tomato plant, I'm gonna try and go ahead and plant it anyway and see if it will recover or grow just as well as the rest of them. I mean, I'm not lacking any seeds. Definitely I got lots of tomato seeds, but I always like to test the plants to see how well they could withstand certain amount of stress, such as being uprooted and partially damage the root and things like that. So this one here, as a matter of fact, I will try to make sure I mark this one so I know which one I damaged the root in the process of transplanting. Let me go ahead and put one of this so I know that I will be marking this as my test tomato plant for resiliency. And now I'm going to show you the next step after I have everything transplanted. Okay, I will be using half a teaspoon of this seaweed extract, and I will also be using half a teaspoon of this fish fertilizer right here. We don't need too much since it's relatively a very young and at the early stage of growth, but it really helps to provide the plant some kind of fertilizer in order to get it to a good start. About that much. It's about half a teaspoon of fish fertilizer. And as much as I like the fact that it's organic, I really just don't like the smell. Ooh. But if you want healthy plant, you would want to do this application. Okay, so that's about half a teaspoon of fish fertilizer in there. And this will be diluted even more because I'm gonna, after I pour this in a tray, I will come back and give it just pure water, just plain water, add it to the tray so that my seedlings could absorb it. I'll show you how I do that when I get there. So now, okay, got that. I will shake that really well to mix that up real good. And now you're gonna see how dirty my hand is going to get. And I think I'm practically out on this one. Probably could open another one. Okay. Okay, so this container is practically empty, but you know, I really don't need much. I could open another one right now, but I got my hand dirty now, and I am not committed to make use of whatever I could find here, and it won't be much. Okay, now you could see how dirty my finger gets. So I will calculate that to about half a teaspoon. Okay, and I will leave that there and allow it to dissolve. I will shake it really well to make sure the seaweed extract and the fish fertilizer are mixed thoroughly. And I'm going to clean my hand. So here it is. We got 64 ounces of water mixed lightly with seaweed extract and fish fertilizer. I will pour this entire container of fertilizer in there, and then I will go ahead and add another 64 ounces of just plain water. So what we're going to have is a very light mixture of fertilizer for these seedlings. We don't need any more than that. We just need a very light application to give the seedlings a good head start. So now our seedling is all set. It's got enough water in there, lightly mixed with seaweed extract and fish fertilizer, and these seedlings are good to go. Okay, so as you can see, what I did after the soil or the potting mix has absorbed as much liquid as it can hold. What I did is emptied this tray, and you can see that it's dry, but the soil actually, let me show you, as you can see, is really moist but not sopping wet. And you know that it's just the right moisture that it needs because the tray is actually dry from the warmth of the lamp or the grow light, and you don't see anything dripping there. So it contains the right amount of moisture, and I will not be watering this again until I see that the surface of the potting soil is actually drying up. Okay, so the seedlings are well on their way to growing. So there they are. Three days after transplanting, that's how the tomato seedlings look.